everybody. So we decided to talk a little bit about the article Everybody Lies. We decided to choose this topic because we feel like this is a very apparent topic that is very important to every one of us. And maybe some of us haven't even really thought about it yet so far. So we're trying to tell you a little bit more about it. As a little theme, we just also put everybody lies to friends, family, and themselves, but the world also lies to us with misleading, faulty data. And we're going to get into everything a little bit more so you also understand why we do this statement. So our contents, we will start with the question, what is big data? We will then continue to explain you a little bit about A/B testing. Then we're going to throw in a little bit of a case study. And last but not least, we're going to talk about what can we do about all of this.
Okay, so what is big data? Big data is the current trend nowadays where there is just sheer large volume of data gathered as well as the high speed of the data being gathered. So it's having a lot of data really a good thing. So there are two concepts, correlation versus causality in terms of data. So correlation is the relationship between two variables that are used to describe, while causality is like cause and impact, so A leads to B. So many people are often confused by these concepts. So such concepts are easy to understand because we are using a very easy variables, but in other contexts, a lot of people are very confused between correlation and causality and they tend to make mistakes. So thus, having a high sales of sunglasses, which seems to have some relation to having increase in the sales of ice cream, does that mean that they are causality? No. So the researchers call this omissive variable bias, whereby there is a third independent factor that causes both increase in sales of ice cream and sunglasses, but are not considered in this case, and a lot of people may conclude it as a causality. So how do we solve this? We solve it by using randomized controlled experiment called A/B testing. 20 people each. Since these people are chosen randomly, there's no reason for either group to have better health than others initially. Then A is now asked to do a specific task to take the pill in this case, while B does not have to take the pill. And after a month, their results are tabulated, and if it is found that the health benefits are obvious by taking a pill, these pills will be distributed to the population, while if this A/B testing fails, then these pills are back to the research. A/B testing is also used by marketers who want to increase their conversion and also achieve their goal of increasing the profit. So let's take a look at this advertisement, for example. This is an advertisement by a gum company called Mondelez International, who also sells Oreo and Cadbury chocolates. So do you realize the difference between these two videos? In the video A, the video starts off with the man putting the gum into his mouth and continues chewing. However, in B, instead of putting the gum into the mouth, the video straight away starts from the man chewing the gum. So these small differences, do you think it really makes a difference in the profit? Yes, it does. So A/B testing has proven that such small changes can lead to a huge impact, as the video B had a high advertisement recall and brand awareness than video A. So further examples of A/B testing would be this common Google page that we see every day. So when you search iPhone 11, what do you think are the elements that went through A/B testing? Basically everything, from the color to the position of the write-ups, the size, the font, the number of pictures being shown, the phrasing of each paragraph, whether to bold it or not, or the icons used. So why are all these very important? So just as the author mentions, people's intuition often fail to predict how people respond. All of us easily assume that the answer will be A, answer will be B. Of course, the people's turnout will be like this, like that. However, there's always the gap between what we know and what is actually true. Therefore, through A/B testing, this fills in the gap in our understanding of the human nature, and small changes can actually lead to a huge impact.
Alright, so now we'll move on to our case study, and the main question this case study seeks to answer is, does your choice of school actually matter? So the question we'd like to pose to the class is there a difference if you were to choose to do your MBA in SMU or at the Harvard Business School? I think intuitively many of you will find that there might be a significant difference between these two schools. So even through statistics, I think we see a clear difference. The average graduate from the MBA program at SMU earns about 131,000 US dollars annually upon graduation, while those from Harvard Business School earn about 194,000 upon graduation. So does this difference in the MBA salary signify that the Harvard Business School is a much better school than SMU? So this case study will focus on the Stuyvesant High School, which is the best New York public school in the United States. Every year they accept about 27,000 students for the entrance exam and only admit less than 5% of it. So a study conducted by a few MIT researchers seek to identify if the school actually made a difference in the lives of their students. So on the right side of the screen, you'll see two students who took the exam. One is Sarah, who had just hit the cutoff enrollment score for this Stuyvesant High School and got enrolled in the school. While Jessica, on the other hand, missed the cutoff score by only one question and was rejected from the Stuyvesant High School. So how did their paths differ once they went into high school? So the researchers tracked the lives of both Sarah and Jessica over their time in high school as well as in university, and they found that at the end, even though Sarah went to Stuyvesant High School and Jessica didn't, they both ended up with similar AP scores, similar SAT scores, which then enabled them to enroll in similar ranked universities, and even after universities, they ended up working in the similar tax income bracket, which signifies that both of them earn roughly about the same salary. So through these experiments, the researchers found that the correlation between how people viewed Stuyvesant High School and their graduates does not imply causation. In fact, the more fundamental reason was probably because the better students attended Stuyvesant High School, which is why they scored better on the SAT exams, and not that the Stuyvesant High School made these already brilliant students better. So the way that data is often presented to us in a misleading way also extends to the workforce as well. In most of the media that we consume, it is very common to see the success stories of Ivy League students, such as Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook and Bill Gates of Microsoft. But less known to us are the successes of students who come from non-Ivy League schools as well, such as the CEO of Goldman Sachs, David Solomon, as well as Warren Buffett, one of the best investors in the world. Both of these two students, highly successful in their own fields, never graduated from an Ivy League school.
So after hearing what we've said so far, I think it becomes very apparent that we are being used by the internet a lot of times without actually knowing about it, and maybe we do not really want that sometimes. So maybe you should ask yourself, what can we do to protect our data? In our text, we did not actually have real points where they made recommendations what we could do, but I just sat down and thought to myself, what can we really do to protect ourselves better? I think one really good way is to use the incognito mode on your computer, because some of you guys might be aware of the fact that, for example, if you are looking for flights, every single time you're looking for the price, the flights will usually go up by the price. There's also a difference between if you use a computer, if you use a laptop, your phone, your iPad, what producer the product is from. So for example, an Apple product will usually show you higher prices because they think because you have the Apple products, you're more likely to wanting to pay the higher price. In order to prevent that, you should just put your computer or whatever device you're using into incognito mode. Another way to save your data is simply not giving out any of your information easily. Look out for what information you're giving the websites or even what hints you're giving them. Another way to protect yourself is also to only use trusted websites. Those are the ones that are usually clean ones and do not have any viruses or any spy software on it. Furthermore, it might be very interesting to you that in some countries or some areas of the world, there are actually already some plans in place that regulate the protection of people. For example, it's the GDPR for the European Union, which started in May 2018. GDPR stands for General Data Protection Regulation and basically helps people to protect their privacy also from a company. Another thing that you should really look out for is really be careful what you sign up for. I mean, not a lot of us would really like to get all those emails asking us if we want to buy this new top or this new laptop. So just look out for what you sign up for. Another thing that you might use, it might be the VPN. It's debatable maybe how legal they are, but obviously this is a way to protect yourself. Anyone who has been to China usually has used one of those just in order to continue with your normal online life. Additionally, you should not always allow all the cookies websites are asking you for. Sometimes these cookies can also include some spying software. To some people this might be normal, but it is worth mentioning that you should be changing your password on a regular basis. For example, my home university makes me change my password at least every 3rd month. Additionally, it is very useful to use a lot of variables for your passwords. These should include, for example, capital letters, numbers, or punctuation marks. Last but not least, better safe than sorry. Most of these things are common sense, and just think a bit more what you're doing in the internet before you're giving out any of your information.
As we come to the end of our presentation, we'd like to offer the class a few discussion questions to think about. The first one would be, what are some of the common examples of correlation that people often mistake as causality? And next, do you think personally that being enrolled in a specific educational institution matters for your own future career? Thirdly, what are some of the potential dangers that we see of big data today as it only gets bigger? And last but not least, is personalization, such as your keywords, fonts, and position, really a bad thing? So with that, we have come to the end of our presentation, and we thank you for watching this video.
Thank you.